The Boston Celtics have been relatively quiet since they made the big move to bring in Kristaps Porzingis, and people have kind of been hating on him a little bit, saying, this roster has no depth. So we're going to be looking into it today. Brad Stevens started cooking long before the draft and free agency began, bringing in Kristaps Porzingis, but he did have to send out Marcus Smart. However, we saw in the draft he traded back about 37 times, so he acquired about 5 new second-round picks that he can also use in further trades down the line to help the bench out. Also, Jaylen Brown is about to sign the richest extension in NBA history with up to $70 million in his final year of his contract, which is crazy. So we're going to be talking all about the Boston Celtics today and their chances to win an NBA championship next year. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed to the channel, because as you can see here, odds are you are not subscribed, so go ahead and fix that. It'll mean a lot to me. And now let's go ahead and get started. Looking at the big three, the new big three in Boston. This is the best big three the Celtics have seen in quite some time. I'm not going to say in franchise history because there have been some pretty good big threes. But Kristaps Porzingis averaged 23.2 points and 8.8 rebounds per game last year. A guy that is essentially a unicorn because he can do that. Shoot 50% from the field, 39% from three at 7'3", which you pair that with Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, that's scary. 1.5 blocks as well, and he's going to be 27 years old, so he fits right in with Jaylen Brown. Now, of course, Tatum's still 19, but he can continue to grow and develop along with Kristaps Porzingis. He averaged about 30 a game last year, 9 rebounds. He definitely took a bit of a leap last year. He's officially in that top 10, top 5 category. Even though he hasn't been the greatest playoff producer, he did have a signature moment this year. 47% from the field and 35% from three in the regular season last year. So overall, big fan of the way Jayson Tatum has been playing lately. 4.6 assists as well, so he can facilitate a little bit. They're not going to have a true point guard other than Malcolm Brogdon, so we'll see what happens. Maybe Peyton Pritchard gets run. Jaylen Brown averaged 26.6 points, 6.9 rebounds, which is kind of amazing considering he still doesn't have a left hand. 49% from the field, 34% from three, and 1.1 steals for JB. And like I said, he's about to sign the largest extension in NBA history, I believe. First reported 5 years, $295 million. Now it's more like 5 years, $306 million, something like that. But yeah, they let Brad Stevens cook this offseason, and he did not disappoint. Now, honestly, I would have loved this a whole lot more than what they ended up getting, because you are able to keep around Marcus Smart, who is kind of the heart and soul of this team. And unfortunately, you had to send him off in this trade. Brogdon, him staying around, though, even though he is getting up there in age, he's still a very nice piece. This is what the trade ended up being. But you turn Marcus Smart into Kristaps, a first-round pick next year from the Warriors, and the 25th pick in this year, which you then trade about 87 times and end up with Jordan Walsh. So, yeah. They also bring in some great rim protection between Robert Williams and Kristaps Porzingis. They average about 4 blocks per 36 minutes a game, which that's up there, in terms of the best rim protection in the league. And honestly, that's the way the game is trending, just having a bunch of 7-foot giants that can dribble, pass, and shoot. They also have old man Al Horford coming off their bench, who, even though he's like 38, he's still out there hooping, still protecting the rim. He still averaged over a block a game last year. So their big man rotation is looking good. However, no loyalty in the league. Again, at the end of the day, the NBA is a business. But Marcus Smart spent 9 years with the team. They even told him he wasn't going to get traded, which is the crazy part. And then he finds out a couple of days later he's going to Memphis. Yeah, it stinks. A lot of Boston fans were not happy that he was sent out as part of the trade. And as a falling out factor of this, their guard situation is not good. Their only 2 starting caliber guards are Derek White, who second team all defense. He's a very, very good defender, and Malcolm Brogdon. Now, White is not exactly a facilitator. He's more of a catch and shoot guy playing off the ball. 12.4 points, 3.6 rebounds, 3.9 assists. I mean, he can do it when he needs to, but that's not his main game. He's more so a role player. 46% from the field, 38% from three, 1 block, 1 steal. And Brogdon is more so the point guard, in my opinion. the NBA Sixth Man of the Year last year, a guy that I'm very high on. I really like Malcolm Brogdon. Celtics fans, he didn't play the greatest in the playoffs, but he was injured. 15 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 3.7 assists. I mean, he was injured. You can't really slight the man. I mean, he was playing through injury. I mean, if anything, give him props. 48% from the field, 45% from three. I thought they were going to go and get like a CP3. Didn't end up working out. Did not end up working, however. And then in the draft, we turned pick 25, which ended up being Marcus Sasser. You turn that into pick 31, which then turns into like pick 34 and pick 39, and then you continue to trade back. End up with Jordan Walsh at 6'7", 205, NBA ready frame. He's going to come in and be a good defender immediately. 7 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1 assist last year as a member of the Arkansas Razorbacks, a team that almost made a really deep run in March Madness, but ended up getting bounced by UConn, the eventual champs. 43% from the field and 28% from three for Walsh last year. And he's played good so far in the Summer League. I don't know if he'll get rotation minutes right off the bat. I can see it, but maybe not. Right now we're about to talk about the lineup, though. So it's going to be, in my opinion, it's either going to be Brogdon or Derek White. Some people like Derek White. Some people like Malcolm Brogdon. I choose to like Malcolm Brogdon as the starting point guard. I think he's just a better facilitator overall. And then you got Jaylen Brown, fresh off his new contract extension, at the starting 2. Jayson Tatum at the starting 3. At the starting 4, you got Kristaps Porzingis. And then at the starting 5, you got the Time Lord. So that's pretty good right there. I mean, as far as starting 5s go in the Eastern Conference, it's going to be tough to beat that. I'll take them over Philly, taking them over Milwaukee. If it was just based off your starting lineup, I'd have them back in the NBA Finals. However, the bench is the big question mark. But these 5 guys right here, when it comes down to it, the closing lineup, which I think this will be, it's going to be very good. And I think they'll be able to close out a lot of games, unless Jaylen Brown has to go left. Then in that case, they could be in some big trouble. Now coming off the bench, they have Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, who, like I said, White could be a starter, could be off the bench. Either way, I'm cool with it. If I'm the Celtics, you got that flexibility, and then you've got Sam Hauser at the backup 3, Jordan Walsh potentially at the backup 4. We'll see. Maybe they go O'Shea Brissett, who they also signed. That was really their only signing in free agency. They've been kind of quiet other than, the big Kristaps Porzingis trade and then, all those moves late in the first round on draft night. But Jordan Walsh could get the nod for the backup power forward from day one. We shall see, though. Speaking of O'Shea Brissett, he just got dunked on. And then at the backup 5, Al Horford. So really the only 2 good bench players you have is Derek White and Al Horford. And a 7-man rotation is not going to cut it in the NBA Finals. The wish list, if I'm a Boston Celtics fan right here, is a backup point guard. Although you have Brogdon, you have Derek White, so maybe a backup 2 would be cool. You need wing depth and bench scoring. That is an absolute must. You have your backup center and you have a backup guard. Other than that, there's a lot of uncertainty there. You're going to have to, try the best you can to go out and turn some of those second-round picks into scorers off the bench. Maybe you turn that Golden State Warriors first-round pick next year into a scorer off the bench. That's what you got to do. Obviously, not much money left, but at the end of the day, you got to find a way to help that bench out. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave me a comment down below, as it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.